Love. The kind that ignites the soul. The kind that reshapes two people into one. That was George and Sophie. From the moment they met, their love felt inevitable, as if Providence had stitched their souls together long before they ever spoke. Their laughter echoed through college halls, their whispers tangled in moonlit nights, their hearts beating in synchrony. George Owen Dickson, brilliant, selfless, devoted. The kind of man who would give everything for the ones he loved. And Sophie was his everything. But love is a fragile thing, and sometimes it dies before we realize it was ever sick. It began on an ordinary day, a class field trip, an ancient site, and an artifact buried in dust and silence. It called to Sophie, not in words, but in a whisper deeper than sound. She should have left it there. She should have walked away. But curiosity is the first step toward ruin. The moment she wrapped her fingers around it, something shifted. A change so subtle, so insidious, she never even noticed. George did. At first, it was the small things, the distant gaze, the cold responses, the nights spent away. Then, it was other men. She began disappearing for hours, sometimes days. George would wait outside her dorm, hoping for an explanation, but she always returned with hollow eyes and the scent of another man's cologne. Then came the rumors. She was seen at clubs, draped over different guys, whispering things she used to whisper only to him. One night, he found her at a rooftop party, locked in a stranger's embrace. "Sophie," he pleaded, "leave here." She turned, eyes empty, lips curled into a smirk that was nothing like the girl he loved. "Leave?" she scoffed, pulling another shot of whiskey to her lips. "You're so predictable, George, always trying to save someone who doesn't need saving." And with that, she turned her back on him. George was many things, but he was not a fool. Something had taken hold of Sophie, and he had to find out what. Late nights, endless research. He found the stories, the warnings. The artifact wasn't just ancient, it was cursed. And there was only one way to break it, a place. The Crossroads, a place where only blood could set the captive free. And so, he set out. But the journey was not kind. As he trekked across the open plains, the sky darkened without warning. The wind roared, bending trees at unnatural angles. Lightning slashed the heavens, and within moments, a flood of rain crashed upon him. His vision blurred. His feet sank into the muddy earth, each step a battle against nature's fury. The storm pushed him back, as if the very world resisted his mission. The thunder screamed, but George screamed back. He pressed forward, drenched, trembling, but undaunted. The rain passed, but something worse awaited him. A flicker of movement, a shadow shifting behind the trees. Then, pain. A fist collided with his stomach, sending him crashing to the ground. Rough hands seized him, dragged him into the darkness. Laughter. 5 men, bandits, predators who lurked in places like these, waiting for desperate wanderers like him. They stripped him of his belongings, hitting him brutally. His mother, his poor, frail mother, waiting for him to come home. Rage surged. He lunged forward, teeth clenched, fists flying. He fought. He lost. They beat him until he couldn't stand, until his vision swam, until blood coated his lips. And then they left him there, broken, barely breathing. He should have turned back. He should have given up. But he didn't, because Sophie was still out there. Weak, stumbling, half-conscious, he pushed forward. That was when he saw the city. Warm lights, the scent of food, the sound of his mother's voice calling his name. Home. He fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. Was this real? Had he already made it back? No. A whisper. Not from outside, but within. Something was wrong. And then it flickered. The city. His mother. Gone. The illusion shattered like glass, leaving nothing but cold, empty land. A trick. A test. A final attempt to break him. It didn't work. George rose, struggling to take his steps. By the time he finally reached the crossroads, he was barely human. Bloodied. Breathless. Breaking. He staggered, legs buckling beneath him. And then, a hand, a stranger, a cup of water pressed to his lips, a whisper of relief in the agony. Then silence. The stranger was gone. And George was alone. With trembling fingers, he reached into his jacket. The dagger was cold. He exhaled. Sophie's picture flashed in his mind when their love was so strong. He hesitated. Then, steel met flesh. The blade sank deep, and as his blood spilled onto the earth miles away, Sophie collapsed in agony. The artifact shattered in her grasp, and for the first time in months, she could see. She ran. She didn't know why, only that something inside her was screaming, demanding, breaking. She reached George's room, panting, trembling. And there, On his desk was a single note, the death of G.O.D. She finds a map location on his table. Her heart stopped. She dashed off like the earth itself was falling away beneath her feet. The note crumpled in one hand, the ghost of his name echoing in her breath. Her legs ached, her lungs burned, but nothing compared to the war inside her chest, a scream that couldn't leave her throat. The death of G.O.D. That wasn't a metaphor. That was George. Her George. And if there was still time, even a flicker, she had to find him. Because if anything happened to him, then something in her would die forever. When she reached the crossroads, her breath caught in her throat. The dagger. Still there. His clothes. Still there. But George? Gone. She knelt there in the place where he bled for her. She held the clothes tightly in tears, but it was all to no avail.